It's time now for County-Wide, a special presentation of Yavapai Broadcasting News. Join Paul David and Brad Miller as they talk with our community's leaders, newsmakers, and people in the know. You'll hear about the hot topics that affect all our lives here in Yavapai County. And now, here's today's County-Wide.
Welcome to County-Wide. I'm Paul David. Great to have you in studio with us today. We're talking with Jenna and Bella Lockhart from Camp Verde, but came over from Prescott Valley today. You've obviously moved to Prescott Valley. At least that's what Grandpa Lockhart told me when he came in for the show. We are talking about Extreme Mustang Makeover Challenge. Bella, how are you?
Good.
Good, good. You know, I told somebody last week that I was going to have you in to talk about the Extreme Mustang Makeover, and you know what they asked me? If you were going to be doing body work or engine repair. Thinking you were going to be working on a car, but you're not. Tell me a little bit about this Extreme Mustang Makeover. How did you find out about it?
We had a couple of friends, and they showed us a show on Netflix called Wild Horse, Wild Ride. Okay. And they were talking about the Extreme Mustang Makeover. And then we went home and we researched it more on the internet, and we found that there was a youth division, and I tried out. I thought it was cool. They were doing awesome, amazing stuff there. Oh yeah? Like what kind of stuff did you see that really intrigued you? One of the people, they took their horse and they brought it into their house and played pool with it. Oh, I just thought that was awesome. And this was a wild Mustang that they had trained? Wild Mustang. That's amazing. That's amazing. Now, do you work with horses? Yeah, I work with them a lot. Now, you said you were in 4-H. I'm in 4-H. I do swine and I do horse. Okay. And I want to do archery. I think that'd be fun. Archery as well. Okay, so you're a busy girl. You're busy. How old are you? I'm 11. Okay, how do you find time for all this? We usually after school we'll ride. On Wednesdays we ride before we go to church. My friend Caitlin will come over and we saddle up, we ride, we work with our horses. All right. Tell me a little bit more about the competition. Now, you saw it on TV, or somebody told you about Extreme Makeover. Now, they film the Extreme Mustang Makeover? No, they're new. Okay. They bought one of our horses, and they're getting into horses a lot more. And they've been watching movies about it, and they showed us the Wild Horse, Wild Ride. They thought that was interesting. What did you have to do in order to qualify for the Extreme Mustang Makeover? We filled out applications. Okay. There was a part that Caitlin and her mother had to answer their own part of questions. It's like a trainer referral. Yeah. Trainer referral? What does that mean? Other people had to say positive things as to why Bella should be chosen as a trainer for Norco. So Caitlin McFarland, her mom, Tamara Johnson, were amazing, and they volunteered to do that for us to give Bella the opportunity. So it was wonderful. We couldn't have done it without them. Now, how many applicants were actually brought in? Because your grandfather made it sound like it was kind of a big deal to be picked, to be part of this. There was 100 to 200. Okay, across the nation? Across the United States? Yeah. Well, I'm sorry, honey, I'm not trying to run over. I think it's regional. Like this one is going to be in Norco, California. Okay. So you can come in from anywhere. Most of the applicants that we have are, I think she's the only one from Arizona in her division, and the rest are from California, Oregon area. They opened and started a new one up in Nampa, Idaho, I believe. There's another one in Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas. So it's all regional, but you can come in from anywhere. One day we'll go to Dallas. What are some of the qualifications to be able to participate in something like this? And to be chosen is probably quite an honor, I would imagine. It is. When we started jumping online and realizing that we are in the company of actual professional trainers, we strive to be amateur one day, but we are in the company of some seriously amazing trainers. And her being an amateur trainer it is an honor for us to be chosen, for her to be chosen. I just get to be chauffeur. That's a lot of work for you too, though. Because you were telling me just before the show, I mean, you've got quite a few different things going on outside of just the Extreme Mustang Makeover, which that seems to me that would take all of my time.
I have a short attention span. But with all the different things you have going on, it's going to be quite a bit of work. Now, how does the competition, tell me how the competition kind of plays out. Okay, you've got your horse, and we're going to go back and talk about that, okay? But how does this competition kind of play out? How much time do you have? What do you hope to accomplish? That sort of thing.
We do an in-hand trail course, so we only have to halter break it. We lead it through some trails, pivot, backing, all of that. So
this is all by hand? As long as you can guide, what is your horse's name?
Miss Arizona.
Miss Arizona, very nice. So you have to be able to guide this horse by hand, not actually be on the horse. Is that it?
No, the adults ride.
The adults do the riding. Okay. So, tell me about the training you're going to have to do here.
We have to teach it. We have to teach Arizona to back. She has to pivot.
What's back?
Backing. She has to back up.
Okay, so she has to walk backwards in a straight line. Okay. Pivot.
Spin a circle. Like implant one foot and spin a circle on that foot.
Oh, really? So one of the front hoofs down, and then all the way around?
She has to be able to do it on the front and the back end.
Oh, one front and one back.
So she'll have to be able to, you know, and these are, the biggest challenge is, first of all, gentling this horse and earning her trust. And that's where Bella's at right now, is just, you know, basic work, basic foundation work. Mostly just trying to earn this little girl's trust. She's a yearling. And she's a big yearling, so it'll be interesting.
Well, I saw the pictures of Bella, you know, with the rope around Miss Arizona, and you were holding back. You had your gloves on, and you were holding back on her. So obviously, she wasn't too keen on it right off the bat, because she is wild.
She was trying to run away. She didn't feel very comfortable at first, but she's getting a lot better.
Is she?
She doesn't lead with very much fuss anymore.
What does that mean? She leads with not much fuss.
She doesn't try to pull back as much anymore.
Okay.
She doesn't brace herself.
Okay. So the opposite of what a dog would do when a dog's not trained on a leash and it's pulling you forward and yanking you forward, she doesn't do the opposite. She doesn't pull you back.
Not very much anymore.
Okay.
She does a little, but she's getting a lot better at it.
Okay. How are you working that in with her? How do you get her to trust you? Because that's a big deal with a horse. I mean, horses live a very long time, so how do you get a horse to trust you?
I've been petting her. I'll talk to her, I'll sing to her just to get her used to my voice. I'll tell her that she's safe, and I'll just pet her and try to calm her down. I sat right in front of her feed bucket, so she had to come up to me in order to eat. So it's either you come up to me or you starve.
Okay, all right. That's clever.
And while she was eating, I would just pet her face, just let her get used to me.
So she lets you touch her now without pulling back like this? That's what always made me nervous about horses, that I don't know what it is. I think they feel that I'm nervous, and that's probably the bad thing. They can sense that about me, and I don't know why I'm nervous around horses. I just am. But when I reach out for a horse to pet it, they've got that, what's that called when they just yank their head back?
When they're head shy?
Yeah, head shy, is that what it is? Yeah, how do you get, is that still happening, or is she pretty comfortable with you reaching out? Because that's quite a thing, to reach out to someone's face like that.
She won't let me touch her ears quite yet. I've been just going straight from her muzzle, past her ears, and over to her withers, and just...
What's the withers?
It's the part where the neck meets the back.
Okay.
It's like it's right above their shoulders.
Okay. You were teaching me stuff today. I like that. We have to take a break, okay? Jenna and Bella Lockhart in studio today. Jenna is, Bella is actually participating in the Extreme Mustang Makeover. I'm Paul David. This is Countywide. We'll be back in just a couple minutes.
I would steal pills from my friend's mom.
We talk about all the common drugs, but never prescription medication.
I was addicted to pills.
Had I more knowledge, I would have done things differently.
Secure your medications and talk with your kids. Visit drugfree.org.
Thanks for calling the GED Pep Talk Center. Jerry Stiller speaking. Your level 7 in-your-face pep talk.
I can keep pushing you. Believe me, I'm good at it. But at some point, you're going to need to start pushing yourself.
See, once you've got your GED diploma, you'll feel so good about yourself.
You tell them. You can't change your past, but you can definitely change the future. That makes me so happy, I'm ready to bust out a dance.
Mr. Trejo, can I transfer this guy to you? My gentle technique isn't really working. You need something a little more...
persuasive? you listen, and you listen good.
Hey, where's my sandwich? Terry? Terry!
Take it from me, the King DMC. It's a real cool thing to get your GED.
Get that diploma!
Now hold on and we'll find you free GED classes. Capiche?
Whatever motivation you need, we've got a pep talk for you. Get your GED pep talk and find free classes at yourged.org.
A single ember from a wildfire can travel over a mile. That ember can ignite and destroy your home or community. You can't control where that ember will land. Only what happens before it does. Visit fireadapted.org to learn how you can help protect your community from wildfires.
Ronnie had huge aspirations.
He knew he could get pills in the community.
He found his body in an apartment in Telford.
I never thought my son would take prescription drugs without a prescription.
Secure your medications and talk with your kids. Visit drugfree.org.
Welcome back to Countywide. Great to have you in studio today. I'm Paul David. Jenna and Bella Lockhart in studio. We're talking about the Extreme Mustang Makeover that's Bella's actually in competition for. I want to go back to the trust thing with Miss Arizona. That is, I keep going back to that because it is such a huge part. I was driving down to work this morning. I was thinking to myself, the hardest part of training a horse, or even be able to begin to train a horse, is to get the horse to trust you. How much time do you spend with Miss Arizona a day, do you think?
I get out of school an hour early every day.
What time's that then?
1.
Okay.
I get up. Well, yeah, I get out at 2.
Okay.
And I go down there and I walk up to her and I just pet her. I just pet her. I won't. At first, I don't work her until she feels a little more comfortable. So I'll just pet her and wait for her not to be very tense anymore. And then I'll start walking her around, and every time she does what I want her to, I reward her. I tell her she's a good girl, and I scratch her. She has points on her that she likes, where she likes to be scratched.
Oh, you figured those out already.
In the middle of the chest.
Okay.
Below, it's like on the chin part of her halter.
Okay, right down in here? Okay.
And she likes, and I said the withers, she likes being pet right on the withers.
Okay. And
behind the withers. And she just, I scratch her on all the points that she likes. And then I push more. What
do you mean by you push? Tell me about pushing.
I have to be able to pick up all 4 of her feet.
Oh, okay.
Her fronts and her back.
Okay.
So I'll scratch her shoulder, and then I'll go down towards her legs. And then I'll just scratch the top part of her leg, then her knee, and then I'll stop there.
Okay.
And then I'll go back up, scratch her again, and just keep going down until finally I can get past the knee without her freaking out. And I just keep doing that until she gets used to me touching her legs.
Now, what's the importance of being able to pick up a horse's leg or foot, hoof?
You have to pick out their feet with a hoof pick.
Okay.
Because there's dirt and there's poop and there's
all kinds of stuff that they're stepping on all day long, huh?
Gross stuff.
Gross. Okay. But that's the goal of this, right? Is to be able to lift those feet up so that you can work on the hooves, because eventually, I mean, you're going to want to put shoes on.
You have to clean them out. Yeah. You have to trim their feet so they don't get overgrown.
Okay.
Because that can be very uncomfortable for a horse.
Okay.
And your feet, picking up the horse's feet, that is a very important part.
Okay. I imagine so. Yeah. Who cleans them in the wild, though? How does a horse keep its feet clean in the wild, I wonder?
I don't think so. I don't think it does.
I don't think they care too much about it. And then how do they keep the hoof trimmed in the wild as well? I guess just running on rock and just naturally, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, our stalls are all pretty soft, soft dirt or shavings or whatever's in the stall area. So there's nothing for them to, naturally wear their feet down on.
Right.
So we have to do it for them.
Who taught you all of this? on how to approach Miss Arizona and kind of get started with her and make her feel comfortable with you and trust you?
My mom and my dad.
Okay.
My parents were very helpful.
Yeah.
I have my Facebook page and all of the other trainers from the Mustang Makeover. They give me very, very helpful tips and pointers. They are amazing. They have great encouragement, and they're very helpful. They're very nice. They share photos and they give comments, and they're very nice.
Good.
They are all very, very amazing.
So when did you find out? Because I think I knew before you did that you were going to do this competition, and your grandfather told me to keep my mouth shut about it, and I wasn't supposed to announce anything about it, so we had to hold off on running promos for a little while because we were keeping it a secret. But I know you didn't know it as soon as I did. What was it like for you to find out that you had been picked to do this challenge?
I felt dazed.
Dazed?
It was like I was in a dream. It was so weird. Everything was blurry at first, and then I was like...
When did you find out? When did you find out?
The day before we got our horse.
Oh, I thought they weren't going to tell you till you pulled up and said, we're here for it. But it was the day before, huh? And where'd you go for this horse?
Norco, California.
Okay.
Ridgecrest, sorry.
Ridgecrest, California?
They have a BLM holding facility over there.
Oh, do they? Okay. Now, these are BLM, Bureau of Land Management, wild Mustangs that are captured and then penned.
Yes.
And so, really, this is also part of a bigger effort to get folks like yourselves to adopt more of these wild Mustangs.
Yes.
To find them homes, kind of like we have the Burro program. I think we have a wild Mustang program in Arizona as well. I know we have the Burro program.
Yeah, they work together.
I would love to have a little Burro. I'd name him Charlie, and he'd be my friend. When you pulled up, and how many horses were there to choose from to begin with?
Well, you couldn't choose.
Oh.
Yeah. You can't choose. They draw a number from a hat, basically.
Oh, that makes sense to me.
And that's your horse.
Okay.
They pick it for you.
So when you got there, did they already know you were going to get Miss Arizona, or did they?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because it was already posted.
All right. We've had pictures of Miss Arizona going up on the screen, too. She's quite beautiful.
Thank you.
Do we know what kind of horse she is?
No.
Mustang.
Mustang, and that's it, right?
We don't know what's bred into her. No. She's going to be a big girl. That's what we're happy. She's got a great temperament. She's very even-minded, and she's going to be big. That's all we know.
So what makes you think she's going to be a big girl? What tells you that?
As a yearling, she's very tall and leggy, but she has a nice. Oh yeah, she's beautiful. She just has a real nice build to her. She's a little bit taller than some of the yearlings that we saw. And them being the same age, maybe it's more in my head, but I would just like to think she's going to top out as a bigger horse.
Okay, all right, neat. So, you know what, let's take our second break, okay? We'll take our second break. When I come back, I want to find out what happens when the competition ends and then what happens to Miss Arizona after the competition, okay? This is Countywide. Stick around. We're going to be back in just a couple minutes.
So who's going to do what?
I'll pack the dead batteries.
Great.
I'll only put what I don't need into a duffel bag.
Perfect. That's totally unhelpful.
No problem.
Meanwhile, I will try to comfort everyone by speaking in a calm voice. And who is going to handle supplies?
I can forget to do a list for us.
Thanks, pal.
We couldn't be any less prepared. I'm proud of you guys.
Talk to your kids about who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Visit ready.gov/kids for tips and information.
I'm one unlucky guy. The chance of being involved in a robbery is 1 in 757. The chances of being struck by lightning. 1 in 750,000.
Please fasten your seatbelts for unexpected turbulence.
The chances of being a victim in an airline crash? 1 in 29 million. Hey, could I get some peanuts? The chances of being involved in a car crash are far greater than lightning strikes and plane crashes. And if you are texting while driving, your risk of crash increases 23 times. Now, I may be an unlucky guy, but I don't have to be part of that statistic. and neither do you. Drive responsibly.
There's no place like home.
Getting home safely is just a click away. But making sure your child is in the right seat is just one of the steps down the road to safer travels.
I don't know how it works.
Find the right seat for your little one's age and size.
We know what you told us.
There's no better way to get home safely. Know for sure that your child is in the right seat. Get all the facts at safercar.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to Countywide. We've got just a couple minutes left in the program, and Jenna, you're going to kind of fill us in more on the competition when we're done. How many days do you have now first to do this competition, to get ready for it?
Roughly 90 left.
90 days. Okay, so in 90 days you will go back and you will go in front of a crowd.
We will.
And you will have to do what with Miss Arizona?
Once she gets there, it's May 16th and 17th, so it should be a Friday, Saturday competition. We'll get there hopefully a couple days earlier, and then Friday she goes in front of a huge crowd of people, and just her and Miss Arizona, and she'll have to go in front of a board of experienced horse people, and they'll judge her on 3 different criteria. One will be body score and conditioning, where they'll make sure that the horse is healthy appearing, make sure that she's gentle enough to be handled accordingly. After that, she'll have an in-hand trail class that she'll have to go through. And that's why Bells was talking about the backing and the pivoting and the whatnot. She'll have to lead this horse through an entire trail obstacle, and it could be anything. They'll make up an impromptu, so she won't have a pattern to be able to learn beforehand.
Right.
She's going to have to do it on the fly. And it could be anything from backing through an L shape, you know, weaving through barrels. They have all sorts of things that they could put up there for horses to do. And then after that, if she passes both of those classes and she qualifies to move on for the final round, she'll have a 3.5-minute freestyle class on Saturday. Basically what they encourage is they would like for her to have a musical score, and then she'll have to go out there and do a performance in hand with this horse.
Neat.
And it'll be very interesting. And she'll have to really showcase the abilities and the athletic abilities of this little filly and try and make it happen.
I have 2 more questions for you before we say goodbye. First, how do we get Miss Arizona comfortable with large crowds?
Exposure to loud noises, lots of people.
Mm-hmm. Do you have that going on?
I was thinking of it. I was thinking of like getting tarps and bags on poles, just getting them out there.
Trust
Okay,
first.
so kind of build like maybe a fake crowd around her corral and stuff, so she's just used to seeing that and lots of noise. Second question is, what happens with Miss Arizona after the competition?
I can either keep her, or I can reassign her to another trainer. We can give her to another trainer, or I can keep her. I really want to keep her, though.
You really? Why wouldn't you? I mean, I know, but that depends on Mom and Dad, huh, and stuff. But that would be pretty neat. Yeah, you're on the spot now. All right, that's all we have time for. I think it's very exciting. Will you let us know how the competition turns out? When you're done with the competition, will you give me a call and say, this is how it turned out, Paul?
Of course.
Excellent, excellent. Jenna and Bella Lockhart, you guys did great. Very nice to meet you. By the way, you are my first young person interview, and you did a marvelous job. That's today's Countywide, and we will talk to you again next time.